I'm not saying that depression doesn't exist. I'm saying that I'm not giving it flowers. Everything is a mustard seed. If you water that bullshit, it's going to fucking grow.
This might be a little bit of controversial what I'm about to say.
I've been wishing on dreams instead of problems. Genie, come through, I need you about that bottle. Facing highs, ducking lows, on my toes, never on my pivot. I know I'm tripping, the way I'm living is something missing, but I can't get it. I've been wishing on dreams instead of problems. Genie, come through, I need you about that bottle, Nigga, ain't nothing changed but the range. Nowadays, just to cope, I need.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Rudy Winslow with another episode of 30 Black and Nerdy. Let's get it. I want to talk to y'all about depression today. Or not just about depression, but also about finding some discipline and how we can actually see that in anime at times. I go back to Gohan, when Gohan was going against Cell the first time, and Gohan got in that funk, and he like was just really in his own head, and he was like maybe 4 times stronger than Cell, but he was in his head so much that he could never tap into his true potential. And yeah, so let's just go to it. Let's just talk about that.
I don't know where you got it in your head that there's something wrong with you, because there's not. Will you stop attacking yourself? I don't know where you got it in your head that there's something wrong with you, because there's not. Will you stop attacking yourself?
So like when Goku said that to Gohan, and like I'm an OG, so I saw this 20 years ago, about 20 years ago. Oh, dang, over 20 years, like 22, 21. But I saw this in real time, and I feel like anime, especially Dragon Ball Z, it gave you that fire in your belly to want to be better than what you were or what you are at that moment. The thing is, we go through life and people will always like have these type of people will put their own insecurities on you, and you even put your own insecurities on other people and you didn't even notice it. That's just life. That's just how it works sometimes. But what happens is we get so caught in our heads that we don't even really understand that we have potential. So that was Gohan's problem. Is like he got so caught in his head, maybe the greatness of his dad, the greatness of his dad's friends, and all the rivals that his dad faced. Gohan saw that, so he compared himself to all of that, and he couldn't think to himself like, man, maybe I'm as good. Like he could never had a thought of maybe I'm as good as them because they were so great, but let alone he is too. And the same thing with you. Same thing with me. It's hard to tap into your true potential if you got all of these thoughts inside of your head. From what people said to you when you were 6 years old, 16 years old, 26 years old, 36 years old. At whatever age you were when somebody doubted you, we can't hold on to that because that was them putting their own insecurities on you. So, if the negative thoughts are still playing in your head, listen to Goku. I don't know. I don't know where you got in your head that there's something wrong with you, because it's not. All right? So let's keep focusing on the things that we can change and not things that we can't. We can't change our history, our past, but we can make room for the future. And
I'm just an ordinary guy, and I've reached my damn limits.
Your limit? Who decides what your limit is? Instead of overthinking your setbacks, just focus on moving forward.
I'm just an ordinary guy.
so that's a saying that I always say, and I heard it. I forget where I heard it from, but it says depression lives in the past and anxiety lives in the future. So that means to say if we focus too much on the past, there's a chance we can make ourselves sad and maybe regret some decisions we made, or even just feel shameful, guilty, or things like that instead of moving forward. And if we focus too much on the future, we get anxious, scared, because we're not sure what that looked like. It's almost like you about to get ready to open up a door. Maybe you heard some noises on the other side of the door, and you about to get ready to open the door, and it's like that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of anxiousness. That's what that is. Focusing too much on that. So what you want to do is focus on what you can do now. Focus on what you can do now moving forward. Not focusing on the future, but moving forward. That's moving is an action word. So that means you're presently doing it. So you're moving forward. So focusing on what you can do now in the moment. Like I said, making those little bitty decisions. Little decisions. Little positive good decisions. Here, and here. Will Smith. I read the Will Smith book, and he talked about how his father made him and his brother, I believe, like lay bricks or something like that. But that it was like grueling to them, and they hated doing it. And the metaphor of the bricks, the metaphor that they were presenting, I guess, but they were actually doing it. But the metaphor for us, since we're probably not laying bricks, is that each brick is going to take effort and work. But each brick, if you do it consistently, something big can happen. Like a wall. You can build a wall or some type of a foundation for something. So just little by little, building those bricks.
This is the part that got me. Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place. This is the part that got me. Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place.
T.I. is spot on this one. Yo, the trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place. You're not going to be able to be cool with everybody. You can't take everybody with you. You can't. It's just not. You outgrow certain things. You outgrow certain people, certain situations, and that's no shade. That's no animosity towards anybody. You love your family. You love your friends you grew up with. You love your friends that you went to school with or did sports with or things like that. That's cool. And you can love them. But if you know that maybe this is the group of friends or this is the person or these are the people that their lifestyle is not conducive to mine, maybe they party a little bit too much and maybe you need to be at work a little earlier. Maybe they drink a little bit too much and that's a vice for you. Maybe, maybe they got some stuff going on in their life that they like doing, but you can't do it. And you'll be doing a disservice to yourself and to your family and to your loved ones if you continue to try to be a flower if you're a tree. Grass if you're a tree. And both of them serve their purpose.
You see this red part? This would represent your time on Earth. You've got a few short years here on Earth, and then you've got all of eternity somewhere else. This is your existence. And what blows me away is some of you, all you think about is this red part. It's all you think about. You're consumed with this. You go, oh man, I can't wait till here. You know what? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to save so I can really enjoy this part right here. And you're consumed with that. And you're thinking, oh man, am I going to get to travel? Am I going to eat well? Am I going to do this during this part? And I'm like, are you kidding me? about this? You see this red part? This would represent your time on
Francis Chan, yo, I love Francis Chan, man. I used to watch a lot of Francis Chan when I was in college, and I remember this actually. I remember this narration in college, and yeah, it is when you think about it on a grand scheme of maybe existence. Depending on what you, listen, you believe what you believe, but as a me and mine, we serve the Lord. But this metaphor of that red piece being our life on earth, and everything we do in that red piece is like taxes and school and family and growing old and all that, and then our existence goes infinitely longer. It really takes into account of how we live this life, how we decide to treat one another, how we decide to be there for our family. Listen, I had many talks with Jesus throughout my entire life, even still to this day. And accepting him was the best decision I ever made. Accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. It was the best decision I ever made. And it helped me, he's helped me through a lot. And it gave me joy for when I am going through tough times and sorrowful times that I'm not necessarily happy, but I have a hope. So, yeah. I rock with Francis Chan, though. Check him out. And listen, I don't care what y'all say in the comments. If it don't apply,
if your appearance is your largest asset, you're going to do some whole shit. You see, the most expensive thing we spend is time. The biggest punishment you can receive is time. That's true. They can take the time away from you. Power means the same thing in every language. If your appearance is your largest...
I never thought about that, man. Hey, listen, I love 50. 50, man, his style, the way he moved business wise is, I mean, don't get me wrong, he a wild boy sometimes, but as far as it comes from the mindset of not being afraid, I love the fact that he's so versed in like physical danger, or like in that realm of physical danger, that when it comes to like the business, more savvy crime and danger like that, he was able to move, like transition from the streets to like the suits very well, because he saw the streetness in it, and he was able to kind of like speak that language, but it was like a different accent. I feel like I lost. It's the same language, how 50 said, from the streets and the business world, but it's almost like a different accent. So it's like somebody going from talking to somebody from Alabama to Texas. It's like, it's tough, but they pretty much saying the same thing, but just saying it differently. But when he said about time, that's deep, yo. They take your time away. Time is one of the most precious things. When people I worked in the prison system for a little under 2 years, and when people lose time, it's a domino effect. They lose other things. They lose time where they could be making money, time where they could be supporting their family, time where they could be supporting their kids, time where they can be emotionally be there for their sons and daughters. Certain decisions are made by our kids because our presence or absence of that presence. So time, they really thought out the they really thought that through as far as punishment wise, time.
The biggest.
Man, bro, you said cognitive dissonance. I want y'all to go, if you watching this, go look that up. I did a song about cognitive dissonance, and I didn't use that vocabulary. I just called it people don't want that real. You know what I mean? I said people don't want that real. They just say that they do.
That's
now,
right.
people don't want that real, and I'm one of them too.
Yeah.
I'm so easily entertained by ratchet activity, violent negative imagery always seem to interest me. I tell myself, no more music glorifying evil, selling drugs, womanizing, killing our people. Then I hear a song with a tight beat and can't deny it. The hook is catchy, so I subconsciously memorize it. Next thing you know, I'm reciting all the lyrics. And my day don't feel complete unless I hear it. Inviting darkness in my spirit. This can't be light. I'm craving what I'm supposed to be fighting. This can't be right. I must be blind to the effects. This can't be sight. Death is in the power of the tongue, and this can't be life. Be careful what you get involved with, because you can't support a cause, but then hate the effects that it causes. Man, bro, you said.
Bro, I really like, so I listen to Christian rap. I listen to rap. I love hip hop. I love music. But I've never, so I think I stumbled upon D1 maybe 2 years ago. But I didn't know who he was until just recently. But then he got a real popular song on like the Christian rap radio station that I be hearing. I think I don't look like what I've been through. Amen. I think that's him. I'm not sure. I think that's it. But I think I used to always see his name on like features and stuff like that, but I never like could put a face to a name. But bro, when he started this dialogue about like rap music and hip hop and everything like that, like he right, yo. I can't even cap. I can't even cap, like he right, because at the end of the day, when these rappers that he talk about was rapping like how they're rapping, when they were like 20 some and maybe, you know, early 30s or when they were closer to the streets and stuff like that, it made sense. But I guess since we are the same, like my age demographic are the same base, we never really probably that cognitive dissonance start to happen because we don't separate the fact that they're now 40 and 50 years older. Because when we first started listening to them, they was like 7 years older than us. I'm 34. So they either just in their 40s or deep in their 40s. And they still talk, they still shoot them down the op and all of that. Oh my goodness. So I understand what he's saying as far as like, talk about what's happening now. Like you ain't gotta be, you know, super Christian and stuff like that when you rap and all that. You just rap about, make your raps more cautionary instead of glorification, instead of glorifying it. I understand what they're saying. I agree with them too. So shout out to D1. Yeah, I'm with it. I think his album costs $100 though. I got a lot of kids, D1. I ain't got it.
I'm not saying that depression doesn't exist. I'm saying that I'm not giving it flowers. Everything is a mustard seed. If you water that bullshit, it's going to fucking grow. What I don't understand is that the reap and sow is everything that anyone does. But people will reap one thing, and then when they're sowing this bullshit, they'll be like, wait, why did I get this?
Why did I get this?
I'm like, because you were... Yeah, you planted this crop, but every single day you were talking about that crop.
Yep, absolutely, completely true. And I said this many times before. I don't believe in things that take away power from me. I don't care if depression is real. I don't believe in something that takes away power from me because I can't become depressed if I don't believe in depression. And that allows me to shield my mind from the idea of being a depressed person. I can feel depressed temporarily, but I can never become a depressed person because it doesn't exist. And when I say this, depressed people are like, no, depression's real. It's ruined my life. It's taken everything from me. Depression's real. Depression's real. I said, you sound like it's promotional team. You
It sounds like it's their God. It's their God. They're worshiping it.
You're worshiping it because it gives you a cure-all excuse for your monumental failures, as opposed to waking up and going, maybe depression isn't real and I've just been up and I should fix a few of these things.
What have I been reaping?
Absolutely. And you'd be amazed how depression will lose power over your life and lose its ability to destroy your life.
This might be a
You're
little
still
bit
gonna
of
get so much
controversial what I'm about to say. I don't want to be irresponsible because, like I said, I am a licensed therapist, licensed professional counselor, and what they're saying is, I mean, you got when it comes to content on the internet. And like anything, I was always taught to, and anything, even in psychology and being a therapist, like you want to always take the meat and spit out the bones. You want to make sure you comb through it and take what you genuinely believe applies, objectively and genuinely applies, and use that. However, there are some times where just because somebody has a degree and just because somebody has a licensure and things like that, that doesn't make them right for you. They teach us this, that sometimes people are not even cultural competent. My thing is this: if somebody have never talked to someone in the Native American community, have never counseled or did any research to the Native American community, and then they go and try to do like family therapy in the Native American household, does that sound responsible? It don't. It's not responsible. So you want to have some type of cultural competence when it comes to speaking about certain demographics and depression and anxiety and all of those things like that. It's a lot of more nuanced than one would believe. However, this is what I say that I think is a little controversial. How I said, a little controversial. I don't think they're completely wrong. I think we live in a generation today where our music, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, by popular songwriters, some that are like that rhymes with Illy Eilish mug. They grasp this sorrow sound and it makes it very and make it sound beautiful, to the point where it's almost addictive. It's almost addictive to be depressed. It's almost when they listen to the media and the music and things, it justifies them to stay depressed, because like nobody wants to feel those feelings of depression, right? But to a degree, we get comfortable, and once we get comfortable in that depressive state, that's what we know at that point. So I don't believe that people like the feeling of depression, but I do believe that people get comfortable in the feeling of depression, and that's just what they know, and it becomes hard. It becomes hard for them to break out of that funk because that's what they know. Almost like people in a relationship that brings them physical harm. Sometimes it's hard for them to leave because that's all they know. So that's what that's what comes to mind when I listen to this talk between Andrew Tate and George Janko. And I also do agree, whatever you water, that's what's going to grow. So if you are in a depressive state and you're listening to music like Illy Eilish, or music that's dark and that's going to keep you in that state, that's going to keep you in that state. I counsel prison inmates and other people I've counseled a lot of people, right? And some of them are I talk to some people that are, they have some gangsters. I talk to some gangsters, and before they commit their crimes, they're not listening to Katy Perry. They listening to drill music. They listen to shoot 'em up, run through your house music. They're putting themselves in an emotional state to accomplish what they need to accomplish. So sometimes, or they're putting themselves in an emotional state to be comfortable doing what they're about to do, or comfortable being where they're at, or just comfortable in general. So same thing, people that are in a depressive state. When next time, if you know somebody with depression, ask them to listen to their playlist and what movies that they watch. Do that. And you will see that everything Georgienko said and Andrew Tate is not completely wrong. There is some validity to it.
They'll be like, wait, why did I get this?
Why did I get this?
I'm like, because you were, you point. I believe that some people are depressed every single day, but I believe that their steps into fixing that is 1, first and foremost, find God immediately. 2, instead of running to somebody and expressing your problems every single day, just sitting there, just telling somebody your problems every single day, find some friends, go to the gym. Instead of talking about your problems, talk about your goals, talk about your dreams, focus on something that is not negative. If there's 2 wolves, one's chained up in the dark, one's chained up in the light, which one lives?
Yeah, absolutely. The one in the light.
The one you feed.
Interesting.
So I could feed the one in the dark all day and it's gonna live, and the one in the light's gonna die.
Right.
What are you focusing on? So I'm not saying that if you're depressed that it's in your head. I believe that you're putting it in your head. And I believe that you could fix this by your mouth. Start by taking actions and taking accountability for what you are saying. It's all about your mouth. Your tongue is the sharpest thing in the world. I believe that some people are depressed every single day, but I believe that their steps into fixing that is 1, first and foremost, find God immediately. 2, instead of running to somebody and expressing your problems every single day, just
So the only issue that I have with this, what Georgienko said, is that he says instead of running to somebody to talk to about your issues, like counseling. He didn't say like counseling, but I'm adding that part because I'm guessing he was insinuating counseling. I would just say and counseling. Find friends, work out. A lot of times we're depressed because of our diet. What are we eating? What are we putting inside of our bodies? If we're not, we need to be drinking water.
I've been wishing on dreams instead of problem. Genie, come through. I need you about that bottle. Facing highs, ducking lows, on my toes, never on my pivot. I know I'm tripping, the way I'm living is something missing, but I can't get it. I've been wishing on dreams instead of problem. Genie, come through. I need you about that bottle. Nigga, ain't nothing changed but the range. Nowadays, just a cope, I need to